Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner. This morning we have the pleasure of having Joe Ponti. Now, Joe was on with us a few months ago and did an outstanding job. And you know something, we received a lot of correspondence from you saying, you got to bring him back. You got to bring him back. So, after being married for 53 years, I always do as I'm told. So anyway, here we are, Joe. How are you, brother?
Good to be back. Good to be back, Mike.
This crazy weather in March it's something to try and put your finger on. It's next to impossible.
I know, right?
And next to impossible.
We're going to get a high of 34 tomorrow, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lord.
Just about right.
Yeah.
Just about right.
Yeah.
My little Nana Messina, I don't think she was 5 foot tall. And in broken English, she would say, Macho Pazzo means March is crazy.
Yeah.
And boy.
What month is it, Mikey?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But, to have the swings, like you said, yesterday, it was, if the sun would have been out, God almighty, you could have went to the beach.
Yep.
It was just beautiful. And, something, I kind of like the swings. My brother is down in Florida. He's in Tampa, and the weather, he's had 2 very, very good weeks down there as far as weather-wise. But he's looking forward to coming home Tuesday, and, it'll be good to have him back in the area.
Yep.
But, Joe, you have so many hats that you wear. There's like 10 different conversations we could have with you at any given time. But something, you said to me, why don't we do a background on the history of lighthouses right here, especially in New England, because that first lighthouse was built right here, right? Boston
Light, yeah.
Right outside of Boston Harbor. And there's something about lighthouses. I don't know what the hell. I find them intriguing.
It's fascinating.
Louis, in Newburyport, the lighthouse that's in Newburyport, they had a caterer, and you could go and have dinner.
That's still there. They're still doing that. Yeah, you can have dinner there.
What's the name of that place?
It's Mike. It's not a lighthouse. That was the upper range. That was a range light. There was a lower light near the Coast Guard station. So if you align the upper and lower ranges when you're coming into the harbor, that give you a clear shot into Newburyport. Yeah. So that's what.
So lower range meant that their power.
Two lights. There's one above the other, separated by a distance.
And it's funny when they advertise, going there for dinner.
Yep.
They advertise it as a lighthouse.
Well, it is indeed
kind of a lighthouse.
It is a lighthouse, but it's not.
I think it's a great
idea. You can check which restaurant in town you want to cater to.
That's right.
A lot of restaurants participate.
Yeah.
So all the food has got to be brought up those stairs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They got somebody who brings it up the stairs.
What kind of a tip you have to lay on the table for that?
You're not going to get away cheap.
Last time I checked, it was about $350 or $375 or
something like that.
Yeah. How much?
$375. But you're up at the top. You're top of the range light. You're by yourself. It's quite an experience.
Yeah, all you need is the legs to get up there, right?
The legs to get up there.
And
it's tiny.
It is tiny.
It's tiny. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's most people with discretionary dollars to go out to eat or go to a casino. They're up there in years, and trying to do something like that would be next to impossible for a lot of people. You get the exceptions.
Yeah,
you get the exception, but I think it's a great idea.
It's 2+ stories. It's not awful.
Good.
Yeah.
And of course, I have the light out on Plum Island too. So.
Yeah.
Oh, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, right at the entrance to the harbor, right across. You look across, and you're looking at the Black Rocks from Salisbury side. That's where it is. It's basically the entrance to the harbor.
What kind of a range would a light like that have? Like if you were in the ocean,
probably 12 miles. That's not that high a structure.
Because the earth is round, Mikey.
Yeah.
When they first started off lighthouses, they used to burn coal. They burnt whale oil,
yep.
lard. Jesus, just think of the people that had to maintain that and the distillation. Holy chipoli. I mean, that's incredible, huh? But the first lighthouse was actually by the Egyptians, right?
Well, as long as mariners have gone to sea, they've always wanted to get back. Okay, and the first attempt at any kind of a light was put up in the Nile Delta, the city of Alexandria. There's a long peninsula there, and Alexandria, named after Alexander the Great, and they put up a huge tower that stayed for several hundred years, and they would burn.
It was 450 feet high.
Yeah, it was a stone structure, and somehow it survived for hundreds of years. It finally succumbed through one of the local earthquakes. But they just burned wood and whatever flammable things.
450 feet up. That's my point.
Yeah.
How the hell do you get wood up there?
You had to schlepped it.
Somebody carried it.
Yeah.
Some Phoenician.
And the name of that lighthouse was called Pharos.
Pharos. Right? Pharos. And as a matter of fact, the term pharology, which is the study of lights, okay.
Well, listen to Joe go.
Is derived from that Pharos. So that construction goes back to let's see,
280 BC.
280 BC. So it had a lot of miles on it, and it stayed for several hundred years. And finally, a series of earthquakes. They've done archaeological explorations in the water of Alexandria Harbor, and they have found large blocks. They can only surmise that was part of the Pharos Light. Okay.
Wow.
The Romans, of course, who owned the Mediterranean, remember the term Mare Nostrum, our sea. Okay,
you paid attention to Central, didn't you?
A good Sicilian,
you paid attention.
Sicilian term.
Who did you have for Latin at
Brother Godfrey?
Big tall guy.
Yeah,
he must have been one hell of a basketball player.
Yeah, right. Well, the Romans, they plied the Mediterranean. They had a number of lighthouses everywhere. Again, sort of built in stone towers, burning some kind of thing. Remember, most of the sailing in those days was done pretty much coastal. You didn't go out in the middle because you didn't know where you were. But with the decline of the Roman Empire in the 5th century, the lighthouses declined, and we really went into dark ages.
Wow.
But I don't know, around the 1449, 1450, fellow by the name of Columbus, not Christopher, but his uncle, built the first lighthouse.
Louis, you paying attention?
I'm paying attention.
We're taking notes here.
Built the first lighthouse in Genoa, and this was
his uncle,
and it was called Lanterna, 1449 by Antonio Columbus, Christopher's uncle, and pretty soon, as nations grew their maritime power, lighthouses started to spring up everywhere. And over a period of 150 years, lighthouses were built on cliffs, on islands, rocks, and reefs around the world. When the lighthouses did their jobs, effectively, ships made it to port. I remember
That's the bottom line.
I remember being a navigator on a Coast Guard cutter when I was a young officer, using lighthouses to pilot. This is before the days of GPS, and you'd take bearings on various lighthouses. You knew right where you were. But the problem with lighthouses, there are simply not enough of them, and especially.
How many, Joe, are left, like in New England? Do you know?
In New England, I know the main number has dropped to around 80. And all the lighthouses today are all automated.
Yes.
So there are no manned lighthouses. And but they're about 80. United States, as you go further south, the lighthouses are spaced much further apart.
And they're all run by the Coast Guard?
Not all of them. Some of them, when they are no longer used, are open to the public domain.
So whatnot.
Museums can buy them. Even individuals can buy a lighthouse. Somebody bought the Graves Light in Boston Harbor, and he's completely refurbished it.
I think somebody bought the the vessel that they use. It's a harbor vessel, a light vessel.
Oh, the Nantucket lightship.
Nantucket.
Yeah.
An individual bought that.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of them are still preserved as part of various museums, nautical museums. Of course, the building of lighthouses on reefs was really a problem. That was a civil engineer's nightmare. And one of the more famous lighthouses that was built on the treacherous shoals was called the Eddystone Light off of England's southern coast. Before then, hundreds of ships found their way on the rocks, were destroyed. So with much effort, they built a stone structure, and they could only build it during low tide. So they had about a 6-hour window every day. And they had to evacuate.
The hours were
good.
They
built it. And but what happened is it lasted for a number of years and had a big storm, and the thing got knocked over. And they had to rebuild it.
Joe, I just wanted to mention New England in particular.
Yeah.
How much history is involved with lighthouses right here in our own backyard.
Oh, God.
I mean, you look at the Boston Light,
Boston
you brought
Light,
up earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, during the American Revolution, I mean, that was the first light, right? The first lighthouse?
The first lighthouse, yeah, right.
Imagine that, Louis, in the whole country.
Oh, we had a lot of firsts around here.
There are. The Coast Guard has its origins here in Massachusetts. The first lighthouse, the first revenue cutter.
Who ran the lighthouses prior to the Coast Guard? The government?
They had the lighthouse service.
Before
then, individual states ran it up until, I don't know, the late 1700s. And then finally, General and President Washington said, look, we're a maritime nation. We've got to be somewhat standard and unified in our approach to light navigation.
That was President Washington.
Did Newburyport have the original Coast Guard unit, or am I misunderstanding
they built the
story?
first revenue cutter. The revenue cutter Massachusetts was laid down in Massachusetts, and they plied. They were like the maritime police.
Yeah.
Basically, could stop you and search you and search for contraband, as they're doing today. Okay, that was their mission. And places like Newburyport, the Custom House Maritime Museum, that's where ships were cleared for what they were carrying. They paid their tariff and all of that. So there's quite a history that goes with them.
Ships played such an important role in New England because everything came here by boat.
Yep.
I mean, literally.
Including the people.
Including the people, yeah.
Well, the Eddystone Light really posed a challenge for civil engineers, and somehow they finally devised the method of interlocking granite blocks that could withstand huge waves 60, 80 feet high. You've probably seen these pictures and large posters of these lighthouses being inundated. Eddystone Light's kind of an interesting light in that there's even a popular song that came with it, Mike.
I love it.
You dare me to
give me a little bit of it. Lay it on me, brother.
My father was the keeper of the Eddystone Light, and he slept with a mermaid one fine night. And from this union there came three, a porpoise and a porgy, and the other was me.
Hey, bravo, brother,
right.
Bravo. I like that. I like that a lot.
Besides Eddystone, there was a one called Bell Rock, built up in Scotland. Both of these really proved in the means of building lighthouses around the world in difficult places.
Joe, what can you tell us about the Boston Light and the history of it?
Well, it was first erected in 1716 on Little Brewster Island at the entrance.
We weren't even a country.
Yeah.
I know.
And it was known as Boston Light. Fire damaged it. And the British, nasty little buggers, after we threw them out of Boston when we occupied Dorchester
They destroyed it, right?
They blew it up, yeah. And it wasn't rebuilt until 1783. After the Revolution, Sandy Hook Light was built in 1764, and it's the oldest continuous working lighthouse.
That's the oldest one?
Sandy Hook, yeah, down in
That's in New Jersey, right?
As a working lighthouse. Remember Boston Light has the because it was blown up. All right. Most of the time, the lighthouses were illuminated by a very simple device, a whale oil lamp in front of a parabolic mirror.
It's hard to believe. Huh?
And that was it. They were called the argand light. And it was considered the state-of-the-art for illumination. And the parabolic mirror did it. Of course, in 1822, a very clever Frenchman by the name of Augustin Fresnel invented the world-famous Fresnel lens.
That changed everything.
It changed everything. It used optically pure glass, which was centrifuged before being molded into prisms. The prisms serve the purpose of refracting or bending the light. So light, think of a candle, and the light goes in all directions. Imagine putting it inside a lens that any of the light that went to the ceiling that was wasted was refracted or bent so it was horizontal. In doing thus, the light, the same whale oil lamp now had 4 times the illumination power and could be seen 4 times longer. So that was an amazing invention.
In my house, I have 2 bathrooms upstairs, Louis. And they're back to back. And there was a door in between the 2 of them, but it was a jealousy door. You had no privacy, really, to speak of. So when I first bought the house, the first thing I did was put up a solid wall. But once I did that, the bathroom that's inside, closest to the hallway, there was no light. So you had to use artificial light.
Right.
So we got this thing. They drilled a hole through the ceiling, up through the roof, and they put this, I'm going to call it aluminum for the sake of, because I don't know, but it's so shiny, it hurts your eyes to even look at it.
Yeah.
That thing, on a sunny day, it comes down and it reflects so much light. Everybody who uses that bathroom is looking to shut the switch up. At night, when there's a full moon, it lights up my whole hallway with no light. It's incredible, but it's so polished, so shine. It's just the way the reflection comes across.
Very good. Initially, the Fresnel lens were made in France under a closely guarded manufacturing secret, but ultimately they were made in other locations, especially England. The first deployment of a Fresnel lens was in the mouth of the Gaudin estuary in France. It reached out over 20 miles and onto the Bay of Biscay. This lens was used in all new construction and retrofitted as fast as possible throughout Europe and the rest of the world. However, the United States was lagging. They had such a bureaucracy in the lighthouse service. They dragged their feet and did everything possible. I think the fix was in on the producers.
Hey, you can't say that.
Of the producers of the argand lamp. But it wasn't until the 1850s and 60s that the large-scale deployment of Fresnel lenses,
the transition took place.
Okay. Now, Fresnel lenses are manufactured in 6 basic sizes. They are known as the order of lights. The largest sized lens is known as a first order Fresnel, probably about 8 feet high, 6 feet in diameter.
Seriously?
One of the first order Fresnels is in Seguin Island, right off the coast of Maine. It's one of the few first orders. The second, third, fourth, most of the lights you're going to see are the third order. You'll see Brewster Light, even Boston Light, third or fourth order lights, Pemaquid, all these names that are quite familiar. Usually they're a glass, I'll call it a glass cylinder made up of these prisms of glass.
And that completely changed everything, the way lighthouses would be.
Well, that's it.
And then once electricity came.
Well, what happened? They used oil, and finally they around the 1930s, the first electrification took place in England, but quickly the United States adopted that. And so they electrified them. And as soon as they electrified them, they were able to retire the keeper, because then they put a photo.
What a lonely job, huh?
Well,
I can't even imagine living.
Yeah.
In
Seems
the winter.
peaceful.
You know, the Isle of Shoals is a perfect example.
Oh yeah. I
mean,
know.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Who the hell would want to be out there in a northeaster?
Yeah. Well, each lighthouse has its own characteristic. You're out to sea and you see a light. Well, what lighthouse is that? Well, what they do is they flash different characteristics.
Okay. I was going to ask you.
A long, a short, and what have you. And some of the lights actually are colored. As you come into harbor, there'll be a light that'll flash red. And
that means stop.
If you, well, no, it says if you keep going and see the red light, you're going to end up on the rocks. Okay, usually they're at the entrance of the harbor, and the light fixture is split. As long as you see white, you're on the right channel. If you start seeing red, you've drifted off. You're in a dangerous channel. All right. And I think we talked about other kind of lights. One of them that's very familiar in the Boston area is off Cohasset. It's called Minot's Ledge Light. If ever you're flying into Logan, making the approach, you fly right over it.
Really?
Okay. And the little nostalgia of,
Joe, hold your thought, because I have to take a break.
Okay.
And we'll be back with you. And you know something? The history, especially here in the wing. I want to talk a little bit more about local lighthouses here, especially in the main area. I know New Hampshire got screwed because we have such a small coastline.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, what is it, 18 miles?
That's it.
17 miles, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Maine. Oh my gosh. And we'll talk about that when we come back.
Okay.
All right, Louis, why don't you take us out, pal?
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-273-5050 or visit GamblingHelplineMA.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back with our guest this week, Joe Ponti. And Joe, you have so much information; it's incredible. You lived up in Bristol, Maine for a while, and you became of course you did. You became a tour guide for the lighthouse.
The Pemaquid Lighthouse. Yeah, we actually lived in a little village called Chamberlain, which is a couple of miles up the Bristol Peninsula. That's where Pemaquid Lighthouse is located. Okay. And I happened to be there during the dedication of the coins. You remember each state had a coin that were, and on the coin representing Maine was the Pemaquid Lighthouse.
Wow.
Okay. So there's a big ceremony and the governor came and all of that. So I'm standing around just doing nothing. And people were saying, yeah, we're going to open this building tomorrow for the first time and people will be able to go up to the cupolas. And I'm like, yeah. So I used to do this kind of tour guiding. And all of a sudden somebody said, you're a tour guide? I said, yeah, I did that in Boston for a number of years. Wow. He said, can you come here and do a little in the lighthouse? I don't know much about it. He handed me a schlep of paper. Here, study this overnight. So the next day I came up and we had it was the most fun I ever had.
Oh, really? I love that. In the area, there's a lot of lighthouses that go up and down the coast. Rockland, Maine.
Yeah, Rockland, Maine.
What a beautiful community.
The Lighthouse Museum is up there, which is wonderful.
Very good take.
Captain Black was the guy that really, he was good. He was good.
Of course, you have Arches on the Pier restaurant located up here. You want fresh fish, Lou? The boys, the owner's sons go out and they catch lobsters and they bring them to the restaurant.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't get.
We in Bristol, there was a place we used to go to, Muscongus, right on the dock.
I heard of it. I've never been there, but I heard of it.
Pick the lobster out. You get a 2-pounder. Oh, it's good.
Life is good, right? All you need is some steamers.
One of the interesting names of lighthouses, the one off of Booth Bay, it's called the Cuckolds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you are a cuckold, okay, yeah, that's its name, and it's one of the lighthouses, pretty much on the entrance of the harbor going into Booth Bay.
What an interesting name.
Oh yeah.
If somebody was to ask you, what's the most photoed?
Oh well, that's
lighthouse?
the Nubble. Oh yeah, that's the one in York. Oh man,
It's nice and close.
Yeah,
and
it's on its own little island. And,
yeah,
but people take photographs. There's also
we were there a couple, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago,
Yeah.
Barbara and I, and it was a windy day, and I got to tell you, boy, that water, that little reach of land.
Oh yeah.
This is a picture. I know it's not very good, but there you go. And what a beauty! You can look at the water, and I mean, you're in a little state park. I think it's called.
It'll churn up.
Oh,
you'll get some
gosh.
rough weather. Yeah, you'll get some rough weather.
But people, I wish I had $1 for every picture that was being taken.
Well, probably the Portland headlight,
Even
the
more
entrance, entrance to Portland Harbor, is because it's ideal. It's just quintessential lighthouse, and it's beautiful places to take pictures from.
Yeah, there's Noble there.
Yeah,
and I mean, imagine the weather they see, and they're close to land.
I know
mean,
it.
There's
I know
probably
it.
What the heck is there? Probably 150 feet to the park where you can park your car.
The lighthouses in Maine are relatively short, probably 35, 40
I noticed
steps.
that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Because most of them are built on some kind of a rock pinnacle. They're
elevation.
already 40, 50 feet above the water line. Because you go further south as you get to the Outer Banks in Florida where they're flat, there you're going to get 100, 200-foot lighthouses.
Oh, wow.
And you got to,
How many steps, Louis? I mean, you
200 feet?
knew the answer to 12 million bricks. You
10
should-
feet to a story, so 200 plus, 220.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Then you wonder why I call him the professor.
Yeah.
All right.
Pembroke, I remember, had 39. Okay. 39 steps. We had a lot of fun with that. And there was a little opening that you went into the cupola, and we put a template on the ground. So people will ask, when I climb up the thing and I got to go into the cupola to be right next to the lens, how big an opening do I have to go through? There were some hefty people. So what we did is we painted the same identical opening on the floor.
If they couldn't get through it on
So,
the floor, they couldn't
But
get
we used to recommend with people that sort of had a hefty wife or something like that, I said, we used to say, well,
wait a minute. What did you just say?
when you had,
A hefty wife?
No need to get gender specific.
an ample wife, we would say on the way down,
Curvy,
not
she's
to worry. You'd let the wife go first, and if she got stuck, you could kind of force her down like a sausage.
Are you done, or is there more?
No, that's it.
You're pretty well.
We're getting,
Can we talk, Joe? And I know nothing at all about this subject, but you were in the Coast Guard. The lighthouses, the light boats,
oh yeah,
what do you
well,
call
the light ships,
Light
they're called,
ships,
like
right.
Nantucket light ship.
Yeah.
Okay, they were placed out sometimes quite a few miles away from shores, where there was a particularly dangerous shoals. Okay,
How did they have to? They would drop the anchor and stay?
They had a couple of anchors. They had these huge, what they call mushroom anchors, that they would drop down and anchor them down. And the only problem is,
Who the hell wanted to have that duty?
awful duty, especially in the fog. Imagine
Yeah.
2 weeks with a foghorn blowing every minute.
Good Lord.
How do you sleep? I mean, are these manned? Or are
Oh
these-
yeah, they'd be banned. Oh sure. Oh,
So
sure.
people that were bad got that duty?
I don't know. But to make things
I mean,
bad
put
things
me in
worse.
put me in the brig.
I forget the year this happened, but some ship in very rough weather, zeroing in on Nantucket Light, okay, kept going. Hey, we're getting a good fix. They ran it over.
Yeah.
So,
Because it moves so far. The anchor?
no, the ship was at anchor,
Oh.
but the ship coming in using it as a navigational
They
lane,
went right for it.
right for it, sank it right on. Oh yeah,
Good Lord.
yeah.
I wonder how the insurance company felt about that.
Oh, I know it. Pemaquid was interesting in that I went through a restoration. We raised money, and we completely restored the lighthouse because it was kind of, scungy on the inside. Sandblasted it, repainted it, and so people went up there, and it was really it was a showcase, and we'd get 100,000 people a year that would climb up that.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And it was free, right?
Free, yeah.
You just make a donation.
We'd make donations,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we did. We made we kept our head above water and did that. But it was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed it. We had a good camaraderie of people.
Joe, are you familiar with the lighthouse on Vinyl Haven?
I know what you're talking about. I've never been there.
Yes.
I've been to Vinyl Haven. I know they had a lot of.
House at that for a week.
Oh, did you
The lighthouse
really?
in Vinyl Haven. Yeah, we knew the town controller. I think was his.
Oh,
position.
well, you mentioned Pemaquid today. You can rent Pemaquid by the week. The
Oh, wow.
Lightkeepers building, which is adjacent to the lighthouse, that's owned by the town of Bristol,
Oh,
and you can make arrangements to stay there for a week at a time, and it's not that horrendously expensive. Now it's a little primitive too, but if you want a place to spend an adventurous night, a week, that's the place.
it sounds like an experience, but again, it would be suited for someone a lot younger, I think, right?
Well, yeah, the little you can.
The main lighthouses are kind of, as he said, they're not terribly tall because they're built on ledges anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Isle of Shoals and the White House Island.
Oh yeah. Well,
Do you know much about that?
I've been out there several times
Okay.
by a sailboat, by powerboat, and it's a wonderful place to visit. You could go there. There's so much to see.
Yeah. And it's good size too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that I go out by boat which is not far from Bristol, is Monhegan Island.
Where is that?
It's off the coast of where Bristol is. There's a couple of small boats that you can take you out to Monhegan, and that's a kind of an adventure. It's an island, 1 mile. It's like almost square, 1 mile by 2 miles, and you could walk
Around
the pier.
it, yeah.
They leave you there for about 6-7 hours, and you have the run of the island. And there are no cars or anything like that. Same thing for the Isle of Shoals.
Sure.
No automobiles.
Right.
And you can do a lot of really good adventure. It is really worthwhile. So
You love this stuff, don't you?
Oh my God!
Look at that smile.
I remember.
Look at that smile.
I remember coming back when I was in the Coast Guard I was navigator, and we'd be coming back from a 3-week weather patrol, and you really didn't know where you were, because in those days we didn't have GPS. We had Loran maybe. We had navigation, but if it was cloudy, you couldn't shoot stars. So we'd be coming back, and you knew if you headed due west 270, eventually you would hit North America
Somewhere.
And we were always on the lookout for Cape Race. You knew that was at the tip of Nova Scotia. Once you saw that blink, you says, "Oh, I'm home.
We're home, brother.
I'm home."
We're
okay,
home.
and that was a wonderful venture. So
I still can't get out of my head those light ships.
well,
I mean, what kind of how many people would be on board something like that?
20 odd.
You had to stick 20 guys on a boat and just sit in the middle
Well,
of the ocean?
they ran the engine. They had powered to make light.
I mean, you're anchored. That thing is moving all over the place. I can't even watch it on TV. I get
Well,
seasick.
you got, it's funny. I got seasick when I first went out, but it all depends how.
I got seasick on a whale watch.
Well, if you left Boston Harbor and it was relatively calm, and you hit a 1-foot swell, and you're going further north, and a 2-foot swell, and then a day later you're in a 3-foot swell, you'll never get seasick. Okay. However, if you leave Boston Harbor and you make that turn heading northeast, and you're into 8-9-foot swells, believe me, everybody, the oldest bosun mate is going to get sick. Okay.
Really, huh?
And
Tell me about that hell night, Joe, that weather night that you remember when it comes to mind, the ship just being tossed all over the place.
Well, the only time, the worst we ever did, we used to go down to Guantanamo, Cuba for refresher training. And we were, fat, dumb, and happy doing our thing with the Navy. And we've completed our 3 weeks, and we were heading back not to home point when we just got an alert. There was a hurricane off the Straits of Florida, and a ship had gone aground, and we were now designated as rescue ship. So we put it at flank speed, okay, I think all of 17 knots, and headed towards the Straits of Florida. Well, man, we went right into the hurricane, and I remember on the bridge of the ship there was a little brass plate, and it said 47. That means at that point you were 47 feet above the water line. That was a calculation when you did celestial. Okay, now remember that number 47. Yep. So you're in the bridge and you're now in hurricane weather, and you look up and all you can see is the top of the wave.
Oh, God.
And it's maybe 50 feet above you.
Oh, God.
So add that. So when somebody says you're in 90, 100-foot waves, believe them.
I'm freaking out just thinking about it.
And I mean, the props would come out of the water, and they'd freewheel.
And you like this.
And then when
you spent 9 years doing this?
No, I was only on board ship for 3 years. And when you hit a wave on the downswave, it was like a submarine.
Oh, sure.
Into green water. Oh yeah.
Oh.
But at that time, you're a young kid. You're in your 20s. You were bulletproof.
That's true.
You couldn't get hurt.
Your mindset. Yeah.
You go, yeah, baby, and then everybody would curse you out because they'd say, "What kind of a chow course did you have us on?" We had crockery going.
I know you don't know the answer to this, but Louis ran the Himalaya up at Salisbury Beach.
Oh yeah,
I worked at it. I didn't run
really? Oh my God!
You want to go faster? You want to go in reverse?
Yeah.
I need to take a break, Joe.
Oh.
And when we come back, we're going to do a Mikey, and then we'll come back with you.
I got one last story I'll tell you.
Okay. When we finish up Mikey, tell us more.
Okay.
All right. Take us out, Lou.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Play more, earn more, win more at Encore Boston Harbor. Sign up for Win Rewards today and score $50 in free play instantly. Score even more as you play your favorite games. New members will also receive $25 in free play for every 100 tier credits earned playing with your new Win Rewards card. Highly rewarding instantly. Visit EncoreBostonHarbor.com for more information. New members only. Further terms and conditions apply. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, call 833-273-5050 or visit GamblingHelplineMA.org to speak with a trained specialist. Specialists are available 24/7 and services are free, confidential, and available in multiple languages.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler.
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
he is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
Hello, this is Rico Petroselli. Now it's time for Mikey Scratson. Time for Mikey. Oh,
Hold on. Take two.
Hello, this is Rico Petroselli. Now it's time for Mikey. Tell us more.
Unbelievable. I don't know. I want to talk about baseball because yesterday, as you know, the Red Sox ended up opening up their campaign for 2026. And baseball, Joe, is America's oldest major sport, and it's been played professionally since the late 1800s. It's a game of rituals and traditions, and I'm sure you agree with me. From the bat meeting the ball to the seventh inning stretch, vendors balancing trays on top of their heads as they're taking care of the people in the stands. And one thing that surprises me, and I know Louis is quite disappointed in this, is in Major League Baseball game, you'll never see a cheerleading squad.
I am disappointed.
I know you are. I know you.
You're right.
Other countries like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, cheerleaders are common at baseball games. Why not here?
Yeah.
They bring music, dance, and rhythm to the stands. In the United States, it's football, basketball. They're the ones that really feature cheerleaders as an essential part of the show. But in baseball, the field remains untouched by that culture. It doesn't seem fair. Doesn't. One of the clearest explanations comes from the history of cheerleading. And between in college and in football, because in college, football, basketball, huge college sports. And cheerleading began at those same colleges and grew alongside those games. As they got bigger, they had more cheerleaders. Baseball, on the other hand, was never a major college sport. It thrived in professional leagues and local clubs instead, and we all know that. When football stadiums were filled with student sections and cheer squads, baseball park had no equivalent, no answer to that. Both basketball and football were considered collegiate sports first, which helped cheerleading take a root there. Baseball didn't follow that path whatsoever. Even beyond history, many fans argued that baseball's slow and steady pace does not suit cheerleading. It is likely it never will, Louis, which dismays me, to be honest with you. Major League Baseball in general does not like to change too much, but yet they changed how to call a strike. They have that automatic call.
Yep.
You got
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're changing, but not the cheerleading. Another reason is probably the way the baseball stadiums are set up. Where do you keep them? Where do you keep the cheerleaders? Do they get on top of the dugout? Then they're in the way of the expensive seats.
Wait a second. They all have mascots. They can have cheerleaders.
Well, mascot's one person. And speaking of mascots,
Well,
and
more than one.
well, I know there's
many
more than,
ballparks.
but we'll talk about Wally.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's got
Well,
such,
Wally's got his girlfriend. What's his girlfriend's name? She's around.
yeah, but she's like on the side. He's really
Yeah.
the main character.
Yeah.
He gets paid. You ready for this?
Oh no!
I want you to pay that.
This is going to upset me.
This is going to piss you off.
Go ahead. How much?
$2,000 a game.
Wow!
Wow.
$2,000 a game to go and take pictures with Rugrats, to go and take pictures. $2,000 a game. The last year he made $225,000. Tommy Zappler thinks he's got it made. This guy beats him.
Wow!
It beats
So
him.
you got to wear that outfit. Which
I
must
don't.
smell
Let me
like
tell
all
you.
high heaven.
Let me tell you something. $2 grand
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
It's true.
Where can I sign up?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's
Oh my
unbelievable.
God, that is.
That's what I get for
It's-
this show.
Yeah, of course you do.
$2 grand.
Joe, we're back to you, pal.
Well,
In closing, what do you
well,
want to
one last story. You know, the U.S. Lighthouse Service had its origins going back to 1789, 1 year before the Revenue Cutter Service. Okay, but they remained as an independent agent until 1939. They were basically very well funded. You might say on the heavy side, very bureaucratic, very antique, not reticent to change. Well, think of the world in 1939. All right, the war was erupting in Europe. FDR was handcuffed by the Neutrality Acts. He really wanted to do something, but he couldn't.
And a Buick weighed
And
10,000 pounds.
And he said, "Boy, I wish I had some extra money. Where do I get some money?" So he turned to one of his cabinets. "Where do I have money?" He says, "Well, you know, the Coast Guard reports direct to the Lighthouse Service president reports right to you. They have a huge budget." He says, "They do?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "You can do whatever you want with them." So he said, "Good. Let me write a presidential order. I'm going to make them part of the Coast Guard, and anybody that doesn't like it, they can retire. And those that stay with me, you're going to start now get paid as a military person, less than half, okay?" And with the money that he got that, they added, I don't know, 4,000 more people to the Coast Guard. And they took surplus World War I 3-inch guns and mounted them all on buoy tenders. So behind the scenes, there's Roosevelt.
I love
playing
this.
by the year on the Neutrality Act, and he added 5,000 Coast Guard people. He armed his buoy tenders, which became anti-submarine in the early days of the war.
Wow.
All right, and you got to give it to FDR. He was gutsy. So that's a little story.
Boy, he
I'll
was
end it with.
well liked too.
Yeah,
He was well liked.
yeah.
Now, Joe, I know there are lighthouses in the Great Lakes area.
Oh,
Are
yes.
there other inland parts of the United States that see lighthouses?
No, primarily as a matter of fact, the most lighthouses in the United States exist in the Great Lakes. I think there are 103 lighthouses
Really?
still on the lakes. Okay, unfortunately, the Edmund Fitzgerald was not available to look at those lights several years ago.
Yeah, I know.
You know, the story is a brand new book that just
Yeah,
came out
yeah.
on that. But that's where it is. The Coast Guard is chartered to where they manage on the navigable waters of the United States.
Okay.
Okay, so the Great Lakes is primarily, and then of course the east and west coast is in the Gulf.
Wow.
How do we call it? The Gulf of Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Gulf of America.
No, you.
Gulf of America.
I knew
Whatever
you
you
were
want to
gonna-
call it.
I knew you were going to say that. That was a baited point. But that's my stories on lighthouses. Unless you got questions, I can answer them.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm just amazed that how far back they go. I mean, before this country was really a country, and I just love it. And there's something about getting up in the morning or at night, rather. You come back from dinner and you're right on. You could be at the Stage Neck Inn, the Cliff House in particular, and you look to your right and you see these beautiful lighthouses. I mean, there's something serene. And if there's a foghorn, I'm jello. I love it.
Well, I forgot to tell you, Minot Ledge Light. It has
Minot,
M-I-N-O-T. That's off Cohasset.
Okay.
All right. It's on a ledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Its flashing is 1, 4, 3. It's the 1, 4, 3. And people call it the I Love You light.
Yep.
Minot Ledge.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm familiar with the term 143 in that context.
And
I love you.
It's referred to as the I Love You light. And so if you're coming into Logan, flying over that, look down and you'll see it, especially at night.
Louis, I have to say it. You impressed the living bejeebers out of me.
Oh,
I know it.
I mean, some of the stuff that he maintains, it's incredible. And that's why he has
nothing important. Just a lot of that stuff.
You've got a good lighthouse stuff under your belt.
You do.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
Give you
we were talking about the lightships, and altogether, I believe there was 613 of them.
No, I don't think that many. Let me see.
Am I mistaken?
Hold on for a minute.
That's all right.
The light ships, we had at one time a total of 42.
That's what I said. We had 42 light ships.
The lighthouses at one time.
613.
At one time we had a total of 331. And let's see. But now there are thousands of what you call. That was 1850s. We ended up the maximum number of lighthouses was 1,462, with 51 light ships. That was at the high tide of illumination.
Not 613.
No, that's it.
Have you ever heard of whistle buoy, Mike?
A whistle blowing?
Whistle buoy.
Yeah, sure.
We got one at the mouth of the Merrimack, and it's as the waves go up and down, buoy, there's a cylinder.
Blows a whistle.
Yeah. It's more like a little horn.
Yeah, but you'll hear that.
So you can tell how bad you can tell the surf, and
Where is this?
We got one at the end of the Merrimack, because I know I hear it every night. But depending on the
Wait a
surf
minute, you
and
go
the
to bed at night and you can hear that whistle in the
whistle
Merrimack
buoy,
River?
yeah.
Sure.
It's not in the river; it's offshore a little bit, but
okay.
But by the frequency of the whistles, you can tell how bad the surf is, what
You
the
know
condition
that-
of the ocean is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. It's another navigation
I'm glad I
tool.
got up this morning. I don't know about you folks, but Mikey's very happy he got up this morning.
You know, the Merrimack River and the breaking waves is second only to the Columbia River.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
It's a dangerous river. It's number one, you get a flooding tide coming out of the Merrimack at 6 knots, and you got an incoming wind. All right. You'll get 12, 14-foot waves. All right. It's not that deep. And the problem is you can sometimes bottom out.
Yeah, you get a storm surge, and you can go to the mouth of the Merrimack and watch the Coast Guard drill. And it's just amazing what they're doing out there. They get those ships going in that surf and those waves. It's amazing.
Not for me.
They rescue more people there that are,
let's teach them something, Joe. Navigation lights, red and green. Which goes on which side of the boat?
Red, right. Oh, the starboard is green and the port is red.
But it's red, right return.
Yeah.
Put the light on your right when you're coming back to port.
Yeah.
I have a hard time driving a car, all right? I mean, knock it off. Just a quick story. My brother was like 15 years old. He was a busboy at the Butcher Boy Steakhouse, and he had to be at work for 5 o'clock that day. And we were at the beach. I went over to Hampton, rented one of the motorboats there in Hampton Harbor.
Good Lord,
so
really?
I went out, and I'm paralleling Hampton Beach. We're in Salisbury now, but I got a little too close to the rocks, and it flooded the engine. I couldn't get it going. So now we're drifting.
You're drifting.
We're going out. My brother's going, I got to be at work by 5. I'm scared to death about what's going on because water is actually coming in the boat.
Yep.
And finally, we had a guy saw me standing up, waving like crazy, and he towed the boat in, and we brought it back to Hampton. But boy, I was scared.
I'll tell you what's more terrifying than that. When I was a kid, my mother used to hang out at the reservation all the time. So we'd go out on that jetty, kids, and climb out to the end.
Yeah.
And we had no idea of the tide at that point. And half the time the tide be coming in.
I got caught there.
Trying to get back in.
Yeah.
During a tide coming in.
Oh,
It's
I
terrifying.
tell you, I was not that good a swimmer. I must have been 10, 11 years old.
No, we didn't want to swim at all. We wanted to get back on the jetty. So that's a bad place to swim too.
Had to be scary.
Yeah.
I've done a little fishing off the rocks when I was much younger. That was fun. In the same situation, you don't realize when that tide's coming in, you better hightail it.
It's wicked.
You get the hell out of it.
I know it.
Hey, Joe.
Beach, Badger.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and make sure you wear your winter coat tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget Palm Sunday.
That's it. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we hope you can join us next week. And something, Esther, we're going to be doing our Sicilian show.
Going to Sicily?
We're going to Sicily.
Nice.
Yeah. So take care, everybody. Ciao.
Wow, that was